Hey, good morning. It's Charles. How's your day going? I wanted to talk about why, or kind of share a little bit more about the motivation that pushed me to start this podcast. I think there were multiple things. One of the things I'd actually mentioned it on the previous episode, and what that was is I wanted to do something that would essentially force me to talk more and to get better at just speaking in public, public speaking. But one of the other things that, or I wouldn't say thing, but person who kind of motivated me is this comedian that I found on Spotify. His name's called what am I? Anyways, his name is Jamie Jackson. He's a comedian and he lives somewhere in the London area, I think. Funny guy, very funny guy. I found him on this other podcast that was all about open mic comedy, which is hosted by another pretty cool guy, I would say, named Mark Cox. He's also a open mic comedian, but he has a podcast, and it's all about the open mic circuit over there in I guess I would say the UK area. I'm not very familiar with all the different locations and spots, to be honest, because I've never been there. I'm just not familiar with it. But the podcasts are great. The interviews from there are really informative. There's a lot of information that's shared, a lot of cool stories, and to me, it's been super interesting. But anyways, that's where I found Jamie Jackson, and I started listening to his podcast, which is called um, The Evening Almanac by Jamie Jackson. And so basically what he decided to do is to do like a daily podcast, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. And basically what he does is he just talks about different things, gigs that he's had, things that are on his mind, just random things. And so that's kind of what, that's one of the big motivating factors for why I decided to do this. So, if you don't really like this, if you don't like this audio, then, blame him. That's the best thing I can say. Um, but anyways, I want to talk about something different today as well. I've been getting more information, or getting, I don't know, it just seems like it's become more popular, is this whole AI music creation. And I had a friend of mine send me this link, and he was like, "Hey, I created this song, that I created this song based on my experience." This particular friend, he he worked in the banking world for, like, I don't know, 20 years, 20 something years. Then he decided to make a change in his career, and he's going to school to become like a psychologist or therapist. And so he's like, "Hey, I made this song that basically talks about my journey into therapy." And I listened to it, and it was pretty cool. Um, but then it was just like, I don't know, the whole AI part of it just seems kind of weird. Uh, like, how is AI supposed to make music? I don't know. I mean, the idea sounds cool, but there's something about it that I'm not really in agreement with. You know what I mean? Because I feel like creativity is something that should be, unique, and something that is almost, maybe, I don't know, personal to the artist or the creator. But to have like a machine say, "Hey, I'm gonna build. All you need to do is give me a few words, and I'll just build the song for you." And now what I'm hearing about is there's AI artists who actually sign labels, and it's like, come on, man, really? I mean, I don't know. I just don't quite. I'm not really down with that. I don't really agree with that. I can understand there's actually legitimate artists who are upset about this. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, even on my own, I can't sing. I'm not a writer. I can't play an instrument. So I actually admire people who have those skills and create, music. It doesn't even have to just be music. It could just be like storytelling, or it could be film creation. I'm really into film creation. But yeah, so it's just like you take something that to me is unique to an individual or maybe a group of people, but then you allow these machines to build it. I don't know, it doesn't quite work for me. I'm not even sure what I'm saying here. But I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of AI. I talked about this previously, and I listened to this podcast where this particular person was talking about AI, and all the different examples that they gave just seemed really weird. Like one example was, "Oh, I created this simulated version of my husband so that I can talk to him about a certain topic." And so I tested my topic with this simulated version of my husband. I'm just like, how long did that take? Like, how long did that take? You could have just been using the time to talk to your legitimate husband. Anyways, legitimate husband, but you know what I'm trying to say. So, I don't know. I'm still not a big fan of it. I can see why a lot of people aren't really a big fan of it, but I have seen as well people like to use it, embrace it. So I definitely see the different perspectives. I was actually talking to a friend of mine who's a high school teacher, and he was saying, one of the big challenges nowadays is dealing with AI. Kids are using AI to solve problems, using AI to do their homework, and some teachers are saying, "Oh, we need to embrace this. We need to be able to use this as a tool to become better at teachers." And I don't know, man. It's just a different time. It's just a different time these days. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. Hope you guys are doing well out there, who's ever listening to this, and hope you have a good day.